believe it was a tank for hauling the troops. Tank gun would have been placed there.
Yeah, and they had a range almost 26 miles. It was a submarine net to stop the German U-boats from getting into the harbor. What they got in anyway.
They got in. I remember my grandmother telling me stories.
They got in.
And good morning, YouTubers. We're back again. Actually, just myself today. Laura's at work, so I'm alone. But today I'm here in NewWaterford. I'm at the Fort Petrie installation, the fortification from World War II. Right behind me is a nice little tank. So I'm just actually waiting for the curator. He's here, but he's getting some stuff ready. And he's going to open up the building and take us inside. And we'll have a little view around in there. But right now, guys, we'll just check this little tank out. We'll check this little tank out, guys. As you can see, I believe it was a tank for hauling the troops. There are no guns on it, but there probably was a gun on it and it's been removed. As you can see, it's a beautiful little machine. Just a beautiful little machine. The exterior coating of this vehicle contains elements that make it a chemical agent resistant coating. Toxic substances including isocyanates and heavy metals are released during heat generating activities such as sanding, grinding, welding or drilling, in addition to ensuring a well ventilated work area were the following personal protective equipment during these types of activities: the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health approved positive pressure powered air supply, respirator, goggles, impervious gloves and coveralls in accordance with the procedures in MIL DTL 64159 Type 2. Dust and other materials from these activities shall be treated as hazardous waste. So you weren't getting in this machine from the outside as an enemy, drilling or cutting or anything. You weren't getting in it, guys. But it's pretty cool. And I have a little bit of information here to tell you guys about this place. So, give me a second here. So guys, this installation is another World War II fortification built to guard Sydney Harbour. It includes an observation post, gun batteries, and several underground fortifications. Also valued historically as it played a significant role with the Allied efforts to protect the Allied shipping routes. Working together with the Chapel Point Battery, they both guarded Sydney Harbour. As I said before, Sydney Harbour was a strategic defense location because of its proximity to the cod fisheries, coal mines, and it was also the entrance to central Canada through the St. Lawrence River. The site was built in 1939 by EGM Cape & Company to protect not only departing convoys, but the local industry, which was vital to the war effort, and naval ships at nearby Point Edward Naval Base from German submarines that patrolled waters surrounding eastern Canada. This was the last site to be decommissioned in Sydney Harbour fortifications in 1956. The communications tower was demolished in 1968. Sydney Harbour Fortification Society bought the fort in 1991. In 1998, Historic Sites and Monuments Board of Canada closed the site to place a plaque. Which, the plaque is right over here, guys. It's a little windy here on the coast. And it wasn't really hard to find this place. I just headed down the NewWaterford Highway and got into NewWaterford. And then I opened up Google Maps to guide myself here. But I'm going to flick the camera around and show you guys. There's the monument. back a little bit here and give you a better view of it. It's a memorial placed here in memory of fallen comrades of the Royal Canadian Corps of Signals by the Atlantic Signals Association, 1998. Velix Versatus Vigilans. During the Second World War, the Royal Canadian Navy and the Royal Canadian Air Force protected shipping on vital North Atlantic routes which were the lifeline of the Allies. Army units shared in the defense of the seaports which were essential to that shipping. In the face of a determined campaign by German submarines, and despite heavy losses, the Atlantic routes were kept open. In this struggle, Sydney played an important role. It was a major convoy assembled port, protected by several coastal gun batteries, and included an airfield, seaplane base, and extensive dockyards. Dedicated to those who served on the sea, land, and in the air in war and peacetime from NewWaterford and surrounding area will be remembered. July 19, 2000. So that's the monument, guys. And here are the underground fortifications. I don't think we're going to get in those today, but a little view of them. One window open there. Pardon my sniffing, but it's very windy here and stuff, and it's driving my sinuses crazy. So I'm going to flip the camera again here, guys, and wander around here. Just waiting for him to come over now. See. Set my cam here, and we're going to head in here, guys. We're going to go in here. Have a little look around in here. It's just like the one over on the north side, but this one is, I can stand up a lot better in here, guys, and it's a lot more lit in here. So as you can see, it comes right around just like the one on the north side. It's lit a lot better. See that? That leads inside there. And this one too, see? Peek in. Going a little ways. Can't see anything in there. It gets a little dark. But at least I can show it to you guys. Oh. See, it's all barred off. This was an elevator, munitions elevator. And it brought you down. So how far down under does this go?
35 feet down, the underground's down there, but we're not going to go down there today, but perhaps
35
another
feet.
day.
Okay, no, that's fine.
You can see in your next video we're going to do an underground, because we're going to do some electrical work. That's the gun emplacement, so the big 10-inch gun to be mounted there.
10-inch gun would have been placed there.
Yeah, and they had a range almost 26 miles. The ammunition was stored down in the underground, come up out of the elevator here, the #1 ammo elevator. They put one shell in each of those black doors.
Okay.
And if they wanted to put one in the breech of the gun, what would have been mounted right here on this round section, they'd open one door, the boys would go in that cutout area and drive it in the back of the breech and fire.
That's what I just crawled in around.
Yeah, and that's just a percussion to take the shock of the actual gun shooting.
Wow.
So each of these doors are segregated so that if one shell blew up, say, it would just blow up inside there, it wouldn't take the whole place out.
Wow.
So each shell was put in separately.
Something else.
And then the boys tear down in the
escape
underground.
elevator.
That's the entrance to the underground.
The entrance.
And And they had a second way out. If they couldn't get up the stairs, they'd come up
The
through
escape
the
vent.
crawl space and up a ladder and out this door right here.
Cool.
So they wouldn't get trapped down there.
Imagine that's the
That's
other
the
side.
exact same. These are a mirror image of each other, right?
Yep. Same with that emplacement there, eh? Same as this one.
Exact same. Exact same.
Yep. You got it, guys. It's they're both the same emplacements. There's two of them.
One over here, you can see this is what's called an anti-submarine mortar.
Yep.
Nickname a mousetrap, or more commonly a hedgehog. But it would be mounted on the back of a ship, like a frigate or a corvette.
Yep.
And we have some pictures inside of it on the back of a corvette. Not a car, but a ship.
Yep.
And it's rarely on a destroyer, but it's kind of like the old footage where you see them throwing a barrel of TNT or whatever off the back of a ship with depth charges trying to hit a German submarine or U-boat.
Something else.
This thing would do the exact same thing, only it could fire over longer distance, but same idea. It would have depth charges
Now,
set.
what around was the distance it could reach?
It's only within yards, hundreds of yards.
Okay.
But as opposed to just popping it off the back. But you could actually fire over friendly ships if there was a German U-boat in the area. Okay. So they could pick that up and just throw it a little further, and then it would pivot down, lay sideways with a big steel grate on top on the back of the ship, and the boys would reload it. And if they got the all clear, they'd open a gate. That would swivel all the way back up again, and they'd fire a second volley or whatever, and they just chase them for days if they had to, right? So we're going to go inside.
Yeah.
It's a really nice artwork here done by a good friend of mine, Keith Baldwin, in Whitney Pier in Sydney, and he done that as a gift for our fort and our society here. And done a very nice job. He done all kinds of nice stuff in the pier, the murals and different things that are around the legions and the Army Navies, and he's since passed away, but he done that as a favor for me, and just beautiful stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. It's really nice.
Real nice one on the front there as well. All in support of our veterans. That's what it's all about.
So that's it, guys.
We'll take a walk
Beautiful artwork.
inside. I don't want you to video me open the door though.
Okay. So that's it, people. We're gonna head inside. And
some of these emplacements here are from the First World War. So this here was built in 1939 for the Second World War. So obviously they couldn't shoot through the building, so that's First World War gun emplacements. So this place actually dates back to like 1760. When you think of Fortress Louisbourg time, right?
Yeah.
So there was wooden barracks across the street, and there was this whole property was all barbed wired off. So there was always a search and a lookout post here right to the mid 1700s, and it's what's called the defended port of Sydney. So there were 7 of these battery observation posts around the defended port of Sydney. So this one is one of 2 that are left and preserved, and like I say, we've been at this for 30 years. So yeah, we'll go inside, look around, and get a better idea of what's going on here.
Yep. Well, viewers would like to see what's going on in this building. I know I showed them the last one, but it was during the construction. So this one, guys, hasn't been torn apart. And we'll go up in the lookout tower and stuff and give you a view from there. It's quite the thing to see, though. Really quite the thing to see. The emplacement he was just talking about is right there. And that's one of many that are on the property here. So So, just now got the door open. I'm gonna head inside.
Alright, now. I gotta go and turn the lights on and stuff.
Okay. No problem. So guys, you can see it's probably 40, 50 feet up there. Can you actually turn the music off? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah. That's one thing about YouTube. They'll copyright it on me for the music.
No, that's just the radio. That's just
Wow, this is something
part of
else.
our security. I had to turn the alarm off. This stuff is normally outside, so maybe I'll move it so you don't have to.
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Oh, that's nice. Small rifles and stuff on the wall.
Yeah.
Hey, like that, guys. This is what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to see. Some gear. This is the gear. Got some gas mask and things here. Some pictures.
Kevin, if you just want to go around,
Yeah, I'm just showing everything off. Here we go.
you've got that one.
Oh yeah, it's been rolling all along.
So just got to remember, everything in here is 100% authentic.
Yep.
Everything in the facility has been donated by members of the community and, well, all across Canada for that matter. And the only thing that's made in here by us is the nurse's uniform over here in the corner. We couldn't acquire a nurse's uniform from the Second World War, and we wanted to represent our ladies very well because they were an integral part of all this situation. So my mother, actually, Patricia Grizel, made that from a pattern from the Second World War.
Cool.
She's a very great seamstress, and so that's the only thing that's made by us. Everything else is 100% battle worn and used, and 100% real.
Pretty cool.
Very.
That's something you get to see a lot. Guys, there's some bayonets. Some different ones. They're pretty cool. Some pictures and information here.
That's something. This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
This picture here is of Sydney Harbor, and there's a full merchant marine flotilla getting ready to head to Britain. And that is all of them lined up at Sydney Harbor. And across the harbor here, from South Bar down the road to Stubbert's Boom across on the north side, was a submarine net to stop the German U-boats from getting into the harbor. What they got in anyway.
They got in. I remember my
They could
grandmother
open the
telling
gate.
me stories.
They got in. Now all these little specks that you see going across here, those are the top floats. We have 3 of them. Those yellow eggs is what I call them.
Okay.
So they have chain mesh going down to the bottom, and then big heavy steel rollers and shackles on each end that would go to tie it on the bottom. So the German High Command and the U-boats caught on to that pretty quickly. So what they did on their U-boats, submarines, they put net cutters on the front of their U-boats. And they were there, just worked like a chainsaw. And they could cut through the netting and get in and, wreak havoc if need be. But for the most part, they look around here at Sydney Harbor. Like I said, they defended Port of Sydney with all these battery observation posts around the whole harbor. They knew if they opened fire in here, they'd never get out. So they'd go out, they'd wait 300 miles off the coast beyond the range of the escorts and things like that. And then they'd start picking off the merchant marines with their coal and steel and commodities from the steel plant in Sydney and the coal mine around the area here, headed to Britain for the war effort. So if you walk over here, you can see just how much went on around here. All of these ships on this map were sunk in the Second World War. There's 383 registered here in all the locations. So we are right here at Fort Petrie. And all of these are ships sunk in the Second World War. There's the Gulf of St. Lawrence, there's Halifax here, Newfoundland here. And all of these swastika marks are German U-boats that were taken out by the Allies. They brought in Catalina flying boats and cancels and had a strip over, airstrip over in North Side or North Sydney. And they had a range out here, so the German U-boat commanders knew right away that once they got beyond that range, the Catalinas and the flying boats had to come back to refuel, so they'd wait out here for the merchants. And you can see there's a lull here where there's not much going on, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose out here. So that's what they would do. They'd sit out here and wait for them.
So the thing I was wondering about was all of them ships that were sunk, were they all ever hauled up, or they're still?
No, they're out there. And one of the most, not famous but infamous, is the SS Caribou.
Yeah.
And she was sunk on October 14th of 42.
Trying to find that now, aren't they?
They're looking to, they figure it might take a couple of years, but they want to find it and just document it. So she's off the tip of Cape North, off of Cape Breton here, and there's Port of Bass, the Cabot Strait, and she's right here, 42, 44. So she's about 60 miles or so off the tip of the Cabot, or off the tip of Cape North, and 40 kilometers roughly off of Port of Bass over in North Side, or Newfoundland.
I read something on that online there not too long ago.
Yeah, it was just on there.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
And if you want to just pan up there for 1 second, here's another thing, article I want to show you is this here young lady here, Michelle Knight Mendez, was killed on her fourth tour of duty in Afghanistan, April 23rd of 2009. And our society made that and put her up on the wall here and gave her parents a replica of such. And we also have the whole book of all our lost in Afghanistan, including Mr. Jimmy McNeil from Glace Bay. And of course, Michelle is on the back. But I made it in honor of all of her. There's Mr. McNeil, Sergeant James Patrick McNeil, 28 years old, guys, 2010, wow. June 21st. You know, they're all young.
Yeah.
So this is why it's important that we keep this going, we remember this stuff.
Yep, died at a very young age. It's,
another important gentleman in here is this fellow, Mr. Tom White. Mr. Tom White right here was one of the founding members of the Canadian Peacekeepers Association. And he still lives right up the road, and he's a frequent visitor of ours.
you hear that, guys?
Well, a quick shot. There's the, we were talking earlier outside about the anti-submarine mortar here, the Hedgehog. There she is on the back of a Corvette laying down here. So that whole thing could pivot up, like I said, and fire, and then drop back down and wait to get the all clear, so that if the enemy spotted them, they couldn't shoot the barrels off her. So they'd pop it up, fire, drop it down, load it, and do the same thing over again. So if you want to take a walk upstairs,
yep,
buddy,
sure.
I'll just let you go on your own there.
Sure. I'm going to reset my camera here so I can... Sorry guys, I'm just moving the camera around now.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where it says no entry, shot in, see some of the replica sleeping quarters and all that.
Get this first.
Take your time, well, you can edit all, whatever you want.
See that, guys? gonna catch everything in here. Even some old cigarettes from back in the day. It's something pretty interesting. Look at that. Look at that. Even model. It's something else, guys. As I said, we want to document this stuff so it doesn't happen again. So now we'll get up here. We're on the first floor. And as you can see, I'll show it to you. That'll be either a light. Yeah, that's a searchlight. See, that's pretty cool. We've got a blade in here and that one on the end of a rifle. So if you had to do hand-to-hand combat, you could certainly stick them. And what I was wrong about in the other battery post, guys, is here sat a telescope. This was used to pick off the subs so that the gunnery outside could fire and hit them. I thought a gun went there, but I was wrong. So, some gear there. This one says no entry, but give you a little view of what's in there. Just the beds and things for the guys to sleep in. So they would actually stay in here all day and all night. I imagine they would change a shift. So now we'll head up to the next level. There's 3 levels in here. And you see that? Coastal artillery searchlight emplacement. So that's what it looked like, guys. This is just a miniature of it. Miniature they made. You see that? That's what it looked like. You can see there's a little model guy there, and one here with binoculars, and another guy here, and then this, the big searchlight. So that's what it looked like. So it's the second level. We'll now head up to the third. And it's pretty lit up here, so... Oh yeah, that's it. So as you can see, you get quite a view from up here. I'll fix my camera here, guys, and show you guys around. See the view you get from here? See what's going on all out in the harbor. So there wasn't really a chance of anything getting in here without being destroyed by the gunnery emplacements. That was one there and one there. And you get a beautiful view up here. And it's quite of an echo. But yeah, guys, not too much more I can say. It's pretty much self-explanatory, as he said. And he told you all of this is, the only reproduction stuff is what's on the medic. This is all real clothing. It was all donated. All donated. That's what our military guys used to look like. There's another searchlight that's not in operation, but give you an idea of what it was. Okay. They used that to spot what was ever out in the harbor, and that was quite a powerful light. It was quite a powerful light. So, back downstairs. There's another outfit, another uniform. You can see from head to toe. And another one. So come on over to this place, guys. It's the Fort Petrie Battery. It's open for tourism. Come over. Show these guys your support. It's free, but leave them a donation. It helps keep the place operational. So, head back outside and we'll wander around the battery. A little windy out today. He says it's always windy over this part. Always windy. It's a number 2 temporary gun emplacement. It doesn't stand anymore. There's another one over that side. Yeah, it's really interesting. Really interesting to see. I'm sure my viewers will like it.
Bad with the ship going past.
Yeah, yeah. I'll give you guys a view of the harbor and yeah, Highlands are over that way. I'll zoom in. Leave the zoom this camera has on it. So you see that, guys? You can get the Cape Breton Highlands in the distance. I'm not very steady with my camera hand though. I need to pick up a gimbal. That'll eliminate the shake. Yeah, the gimbal. So, this is Fort Petrie, guys. We'll go check that tank out and the one that's demolished over there, and then we'll call it a day.
That one that's demolished is a friend gun carrier.
Yeah?
That's an armored personnel carrier. Get a shot of this side of the Fort Petrie sign.
Yep.
My buddy Keith Baldwin made that as well.
Okay.
And this is the HMCS NewWaterford, donated by the NewWaterford Legion. Done by Terry McDonald.
Okay.
I can see you have to do some...
Yeah, touch up. Color it back up. Sun's fading it.
A little bit.
But it's still noticeable, guys. Pick it up on the cam here pretty good. That was the other emplacement before that was put up. There's a Fort Petrie sign. Fort Petrie sign. It's dual-sided. You can catch it coming in from either end of NewWaterford, as you can see. And then we have the tank where I started the intro. And I'm going to head over and show you the one that's destroyed. I would imagine it was hit in battle. See that? That's a beautiful machine. Absolutely beautiful machine. I would, as I said before, I'd love to ride that myself. Now, just coming across the parking lot. They have washrooms there built for tourists. There's a observation point there so you can go out and stand on. They put that in also. By the donations, guys. This is how they built all this stuff. How they keep it running. Now, I'm going to leave a little donation today. I don't have a lot, but I'll come back again another day with Laura, show her around it, and we'll leave another donation, a little more. This is the machine. It's pretty destroyed. Be nice to take that machine and restore it back to its original condition. I'm going to talk to him about that when we're done filming here and see if there's any way that we get some help involved here and get this machine restored. It'd be something else to put on display, guys, just like the other one. I know there isn't a lot of those things left in existence, so it would be pretty hard to rebuild it, but I'd imagine it can be done. There are companies around the States that fabricate those things. As you can see, this is harbor. So, this is Fort Petrie. This is Cape Breton Island. So come on down, guys. Bring your tourism around. Come over and visit Fort Petrie. As he said, come back another day and he'll open up the underground bunkers and we'll go in and have a look around there. Just not today, so we're going to end it here. Just remember, guys, keep your subscriptions coming. Hit that notification bell, leave your comments down below, and until next time, we'll catch you later.